Jordan!
Iain!
Who went backpacking across the French Alps, got addicted to the hot chocolate they serve in their hilltop cafe, tried to mimic the recipe at home, f***ed it up, but in doing so, accidentally invented a cheaper alternative cure to persistent genital arousal syndrome, putting Arnold Schwarzenegger's boner-killing rice cracker company permanently out of business.
Rowan Atkinson?
No! Two guys! What?
I think that must be the longest intro question you've ever done.
I don't know. Do you remember when I was like, who was going to go to bed at 2 a.m, looked up at the bookshelf, saw that book.
Oh, yeah.
And thought, oh, I need to write a segment.
For our 100th, I should probably, compile every single intro question.
Oh, God, mate, do you really want to give yourself that much work?
Not really. Actually, you've talked me out of it. Forget I ever said anything.
Hello, and welcome to episode 97 of Two Guys What's Up, the weekly comedy podcast where I know all the genital-related news because I love genitals. One guy who can truly attest to that fact because I can't leave his alone is this guy, Jordan. Jordan, how are you?
I'm okay, thanks.
Bit raw down there after last night.
That's a normal feeling. Sandpaper galore.
I use sandpaper, yeah. Instead of a towel.
Didn't we mention that a long time ago? I can't remember. There was something about sandpaper.
Yeah, there was something, I think it was in some kind of bizarre sexual fetish where people like abrasion. That was it.
That was it.
That's the one, yeah. And you were like, tube it up.
You would though, wouldn't you? If you're into it.
Yeah, that's all you could do, I guess.
I suppose you would quite physically be into it as well, wouldn't you?
Oh, you'd be balls deep into it, yeah.
Oh,
God.
It's great. It's just totally reminded me of that joke, you'll have heard it, where, what was it? What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?
Go on. I've never heard that joke done with such realism in the punchline, Jordan. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I had to, proper bend over and everything. All that yoga's paid off.
Finally.
It's the only reason that I took up yoga, really.
Was to tell that joke.
Yeah, when I'm down at the pub, it gets awkward looks, but it's good.
Gets awkward looks, one or two laughs. One guy always comes up to you at the end and asks you how to do it, pulls you aside, like, can you teach me that?
Yeah, and that one guy, it's always you.
It is, and you never do it. I mean, I don't know what the problem is. I've offered to pay you.
It's just lots of downward dog lessons.
Okie dokie. So I need a dog is what you're saying. Don't know how that would come into the equation, but whatever. I'll buy a dog.
We'll move on.
Okay.
How are you?
Good, I think.
That's all right then. That's not too bad. Could be worse.
So, tonight, we are going to a birthday party.
Very good. Is this your eldest?
It is my eldest. It is his birthday. And f***ing Spider-Man is making an appearance.
What, the real Peter Parker?
Calm down.
Spider-Man.
You can't just be giving out secret identities like that, mate. That's
Sorry.
like saying, oh, Batman is Bruce Wayne. Oh,
you've just ruined it.
Okay, so long as we don't tell anyone that Superman is actually Clark Spent, I'll keep it nice and secret, then, we'll be fine, probably, I guess.
That is very true, yeah. So that'll be exciting, though. Is that at your house?
It is not at our house, no, God,
right.
No. Thousands of children are attending. We're going to a ginormous soft play area, and the children are enclosed, so they can't escape. That sounds a lot more horrible than I meant it to. I meant they can't get out of the area unattended.
They are in safe confinements.
Correct, yeah, that's the one. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks for digging me out of that.
They are definitely confined in some bars.
Yeah, it's prison. We're going to prison. They are safely confined in an area where they can run around freely and safely, and us parents can just kind of kick back with a coffee and everyone can enjoy themselves. And further to that, tomorrow, my wife and I, for our 4-year wedding anniversary, are going to Hull.
It is the city of culture.
So I've been told.
And they also have wings.
Yes, that is the reason we're going. The main reason we're going is because you gave us a fantastic restaurant recommendation, and that is a multicultural all-you-can-eat buffet, which sounds like where I want to live, essentially.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, they kind of have everything. I wouldn't say it's like the most top quality food Michelin star that you could ever have.
Well,
but
glad I'm f***ing going then.
I mean, it's shit, but it's great.
It's shit, but it's a lot of it.
I mean, you're bound to get food poisoning, but you'll love it.
Perfect. That's fine. I remember as well, I was telling someone last night that when you first went there and you text us saying, oh, we're in Hull, we just went to get some wings. And I was like, oh, cool. What, like barbecue or... And you were like, you're so funny. And I was like, what?
In fact, I don't even think I replied to you, did I?
No, I'm pretty sure you did.
No, because you said to me afterwards, you were like, oh, you never even replied back. You must have thought that I was taking the piss.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because I was under the impression that I remembered you sending us a photo, and I was like, well, where's the wings?
Yeah.
And you were like, what are you talking about? And there was just like confusion everywhere. And I was like, mate, you said you went to get some wings. Where's the fucking chicken wings? And you were like, no, wings is the name of the restaurant.
The joke's on you. I did have some lovely salt and pepper chicken wings.
Ooh, can't wait to gobble all them.
Not the bones, though. That's quite dangerous.
Mate, if they get caught up in the teeth action, then they're going down.
And they also have an ice cream and crepe station as well.
Ooh, I actually have a question for you.
Okay.
On the website, it says Candy Floss Bar.
Yes.
What the is that?
Well, I mean, I never had it because I don't like candy floss.
Why, what's wrong with you?
I think it's just a station where you can have candy floss made.
Mate, you've grown up in 2 seaside towns. How can you not like candy floss?
Awful stuff. Oh, terrible.
It's like living in bloody New York and saying you don't like big apples.
Oh, I fucking hated that when I went.
Oh, God, yeah, I forgot you had been there. Terrible comparison, but you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying, but I love me some fish and chips.
Okay, well, we'll let you off then. We'll let you stay.
Thanks.
I'll disband the group of...
The lynch mob.
Yeah. Yeah, the pitchforks and the fires are all been extinguished and returned to their sheaths. You don't keep pitchforks in a sheath.
Oh, I wondered what all that gathering was outside in the back garden.
Yeah, they can get together pretty quick when there's someone to kill.
Yeah.
When a pothole needs filling, no one gives a shit.
No.
But, as soon as someone is disrespecting where they live,
yeah,
it's fucking time to die. In a split second. Anyway, so that is me. That's where I am going tomorrow, and I can't wait.
That sounds exciting. That sounds way more fun than what we'll be doing, which is looking after your youngest.
Now you know how I feel.
You know what? I'm afraid we've got plans. We're off to Wings.
We'll see you there then.
And yes, we did also think that because he is staying over with us, we are going to disable on the fridge the water dispenser.
Very good idea.
Because I sense that and a 3-year-old equals not good.
Mate, after one night of living with that child, you've learnt so much. I am so proud.
Well, I might forget to do it yet, but that's the plan.
You're thinking so far ahead, though. That's fantastic. Like, you've gone from just living in your adult house, you can leave anything anywhere. Cup, I'll stick it on the floor. Who gives a fuck? No one cares. It'll be there in an hour. To like, right, let's stick this up high. We'll disable this. We'll turn this off. We'll just completely gut the spare room because we don't want him touching anything in there. So we'll put that in the loft.
What, the whole room?
Yeah, to everything.
Just stick that room up in the loft. Walls and all.
Just cut it out.
No, it'll be fine. He was a lovely lad when we had him last time.
He's grown since then.
Oh, that's all right. He's matured then. Fine.
No.
Shit.
He just knows now.
If that's the case, we've still got Teddy's old cage. It's fine.
Perfect. See, always thinking ahead.
I mean, he's probably outgrown it, but...
Yeah.
No, we're going to take him, I think, to a park, let some energy out, and then see how it goes, really.
Perfect plan.
If not, we're palming him off somewhere and we're off to Wings.
Smashing. Right then, me old pal. I think we should probably just jump into some stories here, shall we, do you think? So what have you got coming up for us today?
Well, I figured that kind of in light of your anniversary, as you've just said, I've prepared for you a bunch of true stories from around the world that I found online of the carnage that can go on at weddings.
Oh, nice.
So I thought that will be a little bit of a themeful idea for you. And if nothing else, even if your day didn't quite go as smooth as you'd hoped originally, it's definitely never as bad as what I'm about to tell you.
Perfect. Cannot wait to dive into those. They sound very interesting.
And what have you got for us today?
Well, Jordan, the other day, I was at a little bit of a loss. I was thinking, I've done a couple alien stories recently, done a few poltergeist stories, and I simply just did not know what to cover. So I texted you, and I asked you what you wanted to hear, and you said ghosts. So today, Jordan, you got ghosts.
Oh, I was only joking. Sorry.
What did you actually want to hear?
I wanted to hear about, I don't know, like...
Just nothing. I just wish you'd shut up. I specifically text you a blank text message because that's what I wanted you to tell me about. Call, pal.
No, ghost sounds good to me.
Nice. So this is a story of the Smurl family and their experiences with creepers in their homes, which for some of them was nearly a lifetime of horrifying spooky activity.
Oh dear, it doesn't sound good for them, but it sounds good for me. Please tell me.
Okie dokie, let's go. So, Jordan. The year was 1973. The Smurl family had just moved into a duplex in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. The house was perfect. It had some damage from the recent Hurricane Agnes, but Jack and Janet Smurl, along with their 4 daughters and Jack's parents, were ready to make this house their home. The duplex setup was perfect for them as it allowed the 2 generations of Smurls to live side by side, with Jack and Janet and the kids on one side, and Jack's parents, John and Mary, on the other.
Nice.
For the first year, life was relatively normal. Jack worked as a neuropsychiatric technician while Janet stayed at home with their children.
Lazy bitch.
Whoa! I mean, I'm pretty sure, she had the 4 kids. You don't want to be leaving them.
Lazy bitch. Sorry, I digress. Please carry on.
That's fine, pal.
Perhaps in the rest of this story, she'll fucking grow a pair and start working and earning away.
God. You are getting fired, pal.
All right, I'm off to Wings.
Later. The family were devout Catholics. They were involved in their community. They were happy and content with their everyday life. Everything seemed perfect, but the peace wouldn't last long.
Did she have to get a job?
Hell no.
Sorry. I'm joking. I'm totally joking. And for the record, actually, I imagine any true stay-at-home parent, I bet that's harder work than actually doing a 9 till 5.
Can anyone hear that noise? It kind of sounds like someone digging. It's like a... Oh, that's weird. Oh, it stopped. That's weird.
No, genuine though. Oh, I imagine that is fucking hard work.
There it is again. Weird.
I need a bigger shovel.
It's just every time you talk, John, it's so weird. But no.
Sorry. I will not interrupt any more about stupid jokes. All right, I'm just going to shut up.
To be honest, mate, interrupt all you like.
That's a statement that you need to be careful saying.
That is a scary invitation.
It is.
By 1974, strange occurrences had steadily started cropping up, which would eventually escalate into a full-blown nightmare. At first, the oddities were minor. A persistent foul odour filled the house with no apparent source. Janet would scrub every corner of the home trying to rid themselves of the smell, but nothing seemed to work. Plumbing and electrical issues cropped up, where appliances would malfunction for no reason, only to then work perfectly again moments later. And maybe even slightly stranger, the house walls would occasionally ooze a sticky substance.
Ugh.
Now that, to me, could be paranormal, but it also kind of sounds that someone's secretly blasting a few zombies.
Very well could be.
And the wife's like, you're spending hours in the bathroom. So, these walls, they're oozing again. Oh, no. So, it's always in the bathroom. How strange is that?
Yeah, very odd.
And it's always ever only in one little area. It's
right next to the toilet.
It's always about dick height as well. So weird.
Very strange.
So the Smurls were able to brush these events off, chalking them up to lingering effects from the storm damage, but then the activity decided to show them that no, it wasn't the storm damage, and f***ing ramped itself up. By 1977, lights were flickering on and off, cold spots started to appear in various parts of the house. At night, Jack and Janet could hear what sounded like voices murmuring, scratches and bangs were being heard through the walls, the girls would hear terrifying screams that echoed through the house, but when they were checked, there was no cause to be found.
Mm.
And I mean, that's fucking scary in itself, isn't it, really?
I am quaking.
Do you want to hear a weird story?
To be honest, I was hoping you'd present one, so...
Aside from the one I'm currently telling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go on then.
So the other day, my wife and I were sat downstairs in our living room. Children were in bed, we were relaxing together, enjoying our evening, and my wife stopped and was like, can you hear that? So I stopped. We muted everything, turned phones off, mute TV, whatever was on. And we heard this intermittent brushing sound. It was like a...
Okay.
Like it sounded like maybe someone was brushing in the hallway or something like that. So we kind of just brushed it off.
Lol.
Pun intended. And carried on with the night. But then an hour later, when we turned everything off, ready to go to bed, it was still going. So we were like, what the fuck is that noise? So we got up to investigate and we narrowed the noise down to the far corner of our dining room, which is attached to our living room. We went over into the corner and there is a few boxes that we'd packed in preparation to move that we still haven't gotten round to unpacking. And we're going to have to investigate. We're going to have to move all these boxes out because it could be like some kind of animal, like a rat or something, like at the back.
What, sweeping?
Yeah, just tidying up. Like, it hasn't got the message, like, you're still moving, guys. I'm just cleaning up this section for you. But, so we thought, we're going to have to move everything. But then I looked at a bag that was on the floor, which contains my children's indoor trampoline, and it looked like it had slug trails on it.
Ugh.
I was like, that's a bit weird. I don't really want to move that, let me get some gloves or whatever. My wife was like, hang on a minute, there is a slug right there. And there was a slug on the bag. I shit you not, it was the cause of this fucking brushing noise.
Oh, going up the bag.
That's the thing, it wasn't even moving, it was just kind of like still, but it was like pulsating, and every time it did, it just made this weird little fucking noise.
Ugh.
And we were like, that's interesting and horrific.
Yeah, if you could have seen my face.
Yep.
That was contorted.
Oh, I can imagine it, pal.
That sounds horrible.
It's like someone said to you, you're gonna have to get a job.
Yeah, heaven forbid. Wash your mouth out. That is totally a reason to still look about moving.
No, because I can imagine we'd move, and then a month into us being in our new house, we'd get a call saying, yeah, the people want to give you your house back because of the fucking slugs.
Well, hey, I mean, all sales are final.
Okay. Oh, good to know that. I'll use you as my solicitor.
That would be a bad day for you.
They're like, well, we'll offer £75. You're like, well, that's quite a bit of money, isn't it? For one payday, that's not bad for an hour's work. Yeah, deal.
No, I'll try and squeeze a little bit more. Maybe, I don't know, 78.
85.50.
I'll try.
And that's why we hired you, pal. Because you know how to do the business.
Yeah, is that why you didn't end up moving? I apologise.
You know how to break the balls. Mate, 75, you having a fucking laugh? 86.50 or nada.
It's like they offer 75 and like 73.50. You're just behind me going, oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm behind rubbing my hands together going, babe, we're rich. We're going to have 75 quid after this.
Yeah.
Minus fees, obviously, for you, so.
Yes, which was 73.
Oh, yeah, you are quite harsh with them fees, so yeah. Was it like 80%, I think you said?
It was like 99.9.
Oh, shit, right. I just thought you're telling me something to look up, how Iain, how's this for a story? I've read it upside down, read 666. I was like, oh, yeah, fair enough. I'll look into the devil, Jordan.
Perfect.
But I'm not going to have a house to record in.
You can always come to me.
In your two houses. The person you sold my house to was you. Which essentially just equated to you giving us 80p.
It was a bargain.
Yeah, for some. One day, Jack and Janet were repainting a room, but they were interrupted when, without warning, the air in the room suddenly turned ice cold. And before they could even react, an invisible force ripped the fresh paint from the walls. And from here, the family began to feel watched, and even their German Shepherd noticed something and would growl at empty corners of the house. But from here, things took a horribly dark turn when the entity began to physically assault the family. Janet claimed she was pulled out of bed, levitated a few feet above her mattress before being dropped back down on it on multiple occasions.
Wow.
The entity targeted Jack, attacking him physically and psychologically. One night, Jack said that he was sexually assaulted by a succubus-like figure. It was a hag with decaying skin and glowing red eyes that pinned him down, helpless, while this grotesque figure did unspeakable things to him. And Janet, too, reported being attacked by something unseen that would touch and grab her inappropriately.
Bloody hell. That is honestly like The Shining.
Is it?
With the guy called Jack.
Oh, God! Am I reading a script here? Jack picked up his axe and bashed it through the door and said, here's Johnny. Puts his face through a door. Is that in The Shining? I don't remember that scene.
I'm afraid it was, Ian.
All right, if I admit that part, do you think I'll still get away with it?
To be honest with you, I thought you were really good at paraphrasing the script on the fly.
Thank you. It did start off with a family were hired to go and stay at a hotel. Right, I'll change hotel to duplex.
Yes. No, but it honestly sounds like that scene from The Shining where Jack's in some sort of bathroom. Do you remember when he sees this beautiful lady and he goes up to hug her and then he realises, I think in the mirror reflection, that it's actually an old decaying woman?
Right. No, to be honest, I haven't seen the film.
Oh, okay. I'll have to send you a clip of that because it is fucking freaky.
Nice.
And that is exactly what that sounded like.
Can't wait. I know for anyone out there probably thinking, what? After all the shit you talk about on this podcast, you haven't seen The fucking Shining? the classic of horror movies. But to be honest, horror doesn't do much for me. There's the paranormal and there's horror, like very two separate things. And horror just doesn't interest me.
Really? I am surprised.
Yeah. So for all you guys out there who are planning on sending me just like, DVDs and signed memorabilia from movies, just send the money instead, please.
I've literally just sent you, it's a 40-second clip. Have just a quick look and you'll just see how weird it is.
You want me to watch it right now?
Right this second.
Mate, you got it. Little TV break. Yeah, I'm down. Let me just open up. Would it have the same effect if I watched it at double speed?
It's only 40 seconds.
Yeah, time is money, bro. What the hell was that?
Oh, fucking hell. Someone's actually... Someone's edited it. I didn't even realise.
Mate, that was terrifying. I can't believe I've been missing this all my life. Right.
Oh, I'm really upset and disappointed now.
That is getting saved and put it in the description of this episode to watch.
I'm so upset.
I'm not. I'm so happy.
Oh, that's so... I can't even find it now. After all that, fucking pointless.
I loved it.
Oh,
smashing.
I'm so sad.
That is the best thing that could have happened.
Why are there so many, what the fuck? Why are there so many stupid edits and not the real thing?
I'll tell you what, mate, I have a multitude of streaming services. I'll just look it up.
Yeah, no, but then you're going to have to sift through 2 hours.
Sorry, my controls are really fancy. They've got this thing called, it just says FF. I think it stands for something like fast moving. I don't know how they do it. It might be French or something, but, it speeds it up. Anyway, I can flick through.
Right, I see. Yeah, that's super annoying. Anyway, moving on, please, because I'm fucking annoyed.
I'm angry. You got it, bro. So from here, the activity spread to Jack's parents, John and Mary's side of the duplex. They too heard pounding on the walls, experienced cold drafts, and even smelt the same rancid odour. By 1985, after more than a decade of torment, the Smurls reached out for help. They contacted a local priest, Father Robert McKenna, who performed multiple blessings and exorcisms on the home, but unfortunately, nothing seemed to work. The activity continued and, to be honest, if anything, intensified, as if the entity was fighting back and mocking their attempts to rid themselves of it.
Yeah.
Whacker! Just fucking piss off!
Right, see you later then.
That's what I'd say.
Oh, you weren't talking about me.
Oh, no, you can stay. You're all right. Unless, you're going to start being a demon bastard, in which case... Yeah, just do one, mate. Get out of here. But can you imagine, if that's all it took? So the priest in there is like, the power of Christ compels you. Leave this family. And it's like, laughing over, you'll never get rid of me. And then the dad's like, just, right, would you just f*** off, please? And it's like, whoa, mate, there's no need to talk to me like that. I thought we were having a fucking laugh here. Right? It's just you just hear do, as it storms upstairs, rummaging around, gets its bag,
You just see this rucksack floating.
Yeah, I was just having a little bit of a joke, man. Didn't expect to be talked to like that.
It's too far.
Just on the phone as it comes down the stairs. Tell me to f*** off, Dad.
Fuck you, Smurfs.
Fucking smelly buggers. Oh, slams the door. No, unfortunately that did not happen. So by now, desperate, the Smurls turned to Ed and Lorraine Warren. And Jordan, if you're unaware, they are the famous demonologist couple known for their investigating of high-profile cases. And a lot of their investigations have been turned into movies recently. I don't know if you heard, I think Annabelle.
Oh, right, okay.
And The Conjuring, I believe, and some other stuff like that. I might not be 100% accurate in that because there's a lot of sort of generic movies that have come out like that recently. So just do a little Google, but cool. that's the gist.
All right.
But the Warrens came into the house in 1986 and conducted their own investigation. Lorraine, who claimed to be a clairvoyant, said that she sensed the presence of not just one, but several spirits in the house. Some were just humans trapped in limbo, but one of them was something far darker and demonic in nature. The Warrens' verdict was that the demon in the Smurl home had been feeding off the family's fear and despair, growing stronger over the years, with one ultimate goal in mind: to destroy the family, both physically and spiritually.
Okay.
Does that not freak you out a little bit?
Sorry, I was just trying to find that fucking Shining video.
Oh, you're still going, are you? I'll find it later, mate. Calm down.
Okay.
At one point, Ed claimed he heard a deep guttural voice cursing at them, saying, "Get out!" Furniture would levitate, lights would flicker uncontrollably, and dark, shadowy figures moved freely through the house. The Warrens conducted multiple exorcisms, using holy water and religious provocation to try and drive this entity out, but I'm sorry to say that despite the Warrens' efforts, the activity did not stop, and in fact, again, only f***ing intensified.
Ouch.
Oh yes. By now, the haunting had caught the attention of the media though. News outlets covered the story, and in 1986, the case was featured on a national television show. Skeptics were quick to accuse the Smurls of fabricating the story for attention, but the family stood their ground, and even neighbours came forward to support the Smurls, confirming that they too had seen strange lights and heard unexplained noises coming from within the house. But the real sad part of all this is that the Smurl family continued to experience this paranormal activity throughout the rest of the 1980s. No matter how many blessings, no matter how many exorcisms, or how many prayers were offered, the haunting would not stop. So, they did what any sane family would do. They decided to move out of the house, and in 1989, they left.
Wow, took them fucking like 10 years.
It did, but I mean, you know, moving house is hard. I just tried, failed miserably.
I mean, that's only because you were after maybe 1 or 2 properties. You'd fucking go for anything, wouldn't you?
Yeah, maybe.
At that point.
I'd sell my house to my co-host for 75p.
You fucking would.
Mate, I'll swap you. You have this house, I'll have yours. You can sell this house, have all the money, and the ghosts.
Sounds like a great plan.
And now, Jordan, at this point in the story, it's normally where I'd say that the activity just all of a sudden stopped. But in this case, unfortunately, the entity fucking followed them.
Oh, God.
I know! And in the new house, the activity wasn't as intense, but they still heard voices, whispers and bangs. They'd feel the cold spots, smell the foul odours, but the worst lasting part of it all was the psychological impact. The emotional toll of the initial haunting was compounded by these new experiences. Janet said that she always felt anxious and fearful, and even though the activity was less intense, it was still significant enough to leave them feeling vulnerable and trapped. This persistent presence of what they believed to be a malevolent entity caused continuous stress, impacting their daily lives and relationships. And can you imagine how horrible that would be? I think this is probably the more horrifying part of hauntings. It's not seeing, I don't know, a fucking pencil levitating off your shelf. It's the fear that it instills in you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that is pretty horrifying.
Isn't it just, right? See, that's the thing. You hear all these stories. Oh, lights flickered. Yeah, this did this and moved about over there. You think, oh, that's pretty weird. You know, that'd be weird to see. But then when you live it and you move house and it follows you, you just be like, that's it, I'm fucked. This thing is going to be with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible, isn't it?
It's pretty daunting, aye. But through this, the family tried to maintain a sense of normalcy using coping mechanisms. They focused on their family, work and community, getting support from friends and relatives, and Janet emphasised the importance of maintaining a positive environment for her children despite the whole constantly living in fear thing, which I think is very commendable, because as parents you have to do the best for your children, and allowing them to grow up as relatively as normal as possible even with this shit going on is a pretty hard thing to do. And you know, even when you're scared yourself, you don't want to get out of bed in the morning because you fear you're going to be lobbed across the fucking bedroom. It's a pretty hard thing to do, and very well done.
Very true. But I mean, also though, these kids are growing up with this, so that is going to be their norm anyway.
That's true.
Thanks.
Sorry, I was just deleting something.
Are you looking for the Shining video too?
I am. I found it, by the way. First link. So over the years, they continued to grapple with the psychological impact of their haunting, constantly living in fear day to day that it would rear its ugly, demonic f***ing head again. So as of now, both Jack's parents and Jack himself have passed on, even, maybe, after reaching their limit, getting to f***ing boiling point, hoping to meet these demons in their territory, in the ghost realm, to finally kick it in its stupid f***ing demon face.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'd do. If I had a lifetime of these kind of torments and I was laying on my deathbed, you know, my loved ones would be around me, be like, oh, you'll be missed, I love you. And I'll just be like, you know, cracking my knuckles like, oh, you're in for it now, pal.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you worry about me.
As you get closer to death, you can see through the veil and it's just like looking at you, you're like, I'm coming for you, you bastard.
Yeah.
I would do that, right? But I would be the most annoying ghost in the world. He'd go to move something, I don't know, like a pencil, you know, off the shelf. You know, like, oh, I'll levitate this, and I just move it out of the way last moment. I'll be like, huh, what are you gonna do now? Huh? What are you gonna levitate now? Oh, I'll go grab that cushion. Like, just like pull it out of his way at the last moment, just so this demon can't do his job.
Yes.
Then I'd ring his boss and be like, yeah, mate, this demon's underperforming. I'm stood here watching him, and he's doing nothing. He sits, mate, drinking cups of astral tea all day. What do you think about that? Getting fired.
Idiot.
Hey, man, that one hurts. You know, the demon's like, whoa, I've been called some things in my time, but that one, that stings. So Janet is still alive, cheering all her loved ones on from the land of the living, but right up until their time of passing, the Smurl family continued to encounter these ghostly events. After the hype died down, they largely retreated from the public eye and only really occasionally popped up for interviews or public discussions about their experiences. The duplex, where the haunting took place, is still standing, but no significant reports of paranormal activity has been reported, which could mean one of two things. Either it was all fabricated, or that the haunting was real and the entity did indeed move home with the poor family. So Jordan, that about brings me to an end. But the question remains, was it real? Ed and Lorraine Warren continue to advocate for the authenticity of the haunting, maintaining that the family's experiences were genuine and that the malevolent entity they encountered was real and dangerous. But Jordan, I don't really give a about what they have to say, because I want to hear what you think.
I think that is one of the more terrifying poltergeist stories that I've heard.
Yeah, I think I'd be inclined to agree with that. Like, I think I've done 3 poltergeist stories now, and that one, while not directly stated as a poltergeist tale, but it is, you know, the more terrifying one that follows you when you move.
Yeah, that's not great, is it?
You know, don't just be like, I've done my job, see you later, family, enjoy your new life, I'm going to stick around here and, you know, torment the next ones that move in. It's like, no, mate, I'm fucking coming with you.
Yeah, that's mean.
It really is. It's like a school bully reaching their final year at school, and rather than going your separate ways and meeting up later in life and just being like, you know, sorry about being a dick when I was in school, it's just like, I'm just going to continue to bully you right the way until you're 50.
What, that? You going to uni? So am I.
What are you going to study? Biomechanical engineering? Well, I only got a moderate pass in pretty much everything, but I will try my hardest to get into that university just to be your roommate.
Yeah.
Just to piss you off. Wedgies for breakfast.
Then when you get a job, I'll be your boss.
Yeah. Oh, we're in for it now.
Yeah, what a horrible story.
Yeah.
But I'm inclined to believe it, because if a family actually went through that sort of turmoil and hell, that is about as bad as it gets.
And I mean, I can see maybe a family wanting the 15 minutes of fame, you know, they fabricate the story or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you wouldn't want to sort of continue that throughout your entire life, would you? Because then it's keeping up with the facade. You have to remember lies, you know, and you have to remember things that aren't going to contradict each other. So if it is just a truth, and it does just follow you through life, and you just state that, you know, that it makes it sound maybe slightly more believable.
And also, though, if that was the case, and you genuinely did want to just move home, let's say it was all false, and that they were making it up, and actually they really did want to move, that's not really necessarily going to help you sell your house either, is it?
No, that's a very good point. So let's make up a lie, get a little bit of fame from it, then try and sell this house, probably for half its value now, move into a new place, and then continue it.
Yeah.
Not really beneficial to your life plan there, is it?
Not really. You wouldn't think so.
So it must be true.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. Awful story. If it is true and what they say they experienced is real, that's terrifying.
Very, very scary. Can you imagine being told by a person that can see the dead that, yeah, you've got a demon? You'd be like, well, f***ing great, glad I called you over. I was moderately happy, but now I know there's a big horned f***er running around my house.
Just really excited.
It's like randomly feeling something meaty slap against your wrist, like as you're walking through the hallway.
So a bit more ooze.
Oh God, it's him that's shooting zombies.
Oh, awful. But regardless of the nature of that story, I appreciate you telling us.
Hey pal, not a problem.
And I did ask for it.
You asked for it, yep, so you got it.
Thanks.
Right, pal. Wedding hell.
So, yes, I have for you a few examples of maybe just awkward wedding mishaps that are from a few perspectives, and you'll know what I mean when we get to it.
Can't wait.
So, someone starts off by saying, they started playing Despacito instead of Christina Perri 1,000 Years while I walked down the aisle.
Oh, my Lord.
I turned to the coordinator and said, that's not the right song. And she immediately turned white.
And she said, shut up, it's party time.
And according to my husband, it wasn't even a prank.
Oh, no.
Could you imagine, though, like you're gearing up to enter the aisle and fucking Despacito starts? It's the least wedding walk down the aisle song you could have.
Dunno.
Maybe second to Mr. Blobby theme.
It depends how you want to enter the church, mate. It depends if you want to rock down the aisle or do you want to slowly wander, like, oh, I'm just going to go and meet the love of my life, whatever, or you be like, fuck yeah, man, marriage time. I can spend the rest of my life with this bastard at the end of the fucking aisle. Can't wait.
Blobby, blobby, blobby. Moving on. Someone else says, saw a groom open up the gifts and cards during the wedding and counted the money and calling people out on how much they gave them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be instant annulment right there. I'd be like, mate, that is too far.
Yeah, that's not nice, is it?
No, God, no.
And then to top it off, he also saw his friend, and they say, maybe ex-friend now, grab the money he was counting and leave.
What?
They say, was awesome to see.
Oh my God.
So, not only is the groom a total knobhead, but his friend's just as bad.
Yeah, what was that saying that you said a while ago? Birds of a feather?
Yes, they flock together, and so do pigs and swine.
Fantastic use of the full one there.
How about this one? I forgot my husband's ring. I was up on the platform listening to the minister, waiting for his cue to stand up and exchange vows and rings when it hit me. My heart sank to my stomach, and I had to awkwardly motion to my parents in the front row that my ring was in my purse in the back room.
I had to awkwardly gesture to my parents to get the car started so we could make a quick getaway.
The thing is, though, she made it really difficult to decipher because she was trying to say ring, and most people would point to their ring finger, but actually she just bent over.
Spread her cheeks!
And showed her ass. Her head poking from the side going, the back room!
It's all sort of clues in one. Yeah, you got the ring in there, you got the back room in there.
So it's all a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
Anyway, after all of that confusion, they somehow managed to understand what on earth she meant, and the dad grabbed it, slipped it to her. I mean, that sounds horrible based on what I've just said. And they continued to give the vows. Close call.
You had to go there, didn't you?
It wasn't me. It's not my story.
That was thoroughly a Jordan joke right there.
How about, I was at the wedding for my second cousin, who was the bride. The best man was absolutely wasted and was giving his speech. About halfway through, he says the bride's name and looks at her and loses his train of thought and just goes, God, you're just so sexy. I wish I would have f***ed you first.
I'm sorry, what?
That's not great, is it?
Not the best thing to say.
That is probably the last on the pile of things to say.
Yeah, maybe you just accidentally started breathing from the bottom.
Yeah, he picked it up the wrong way round. But I tell you what, though, it's a common occurrence because someone else actually says, wedding photographer here, easily the worst wedding I'd been to was because the father of the groom, apparently entirely sober, gave a 10-minute toast that devolved into openly complaining that his son got to have sex with the bride and he didn't.
Wow.
And this wasn't a mistimed joke about how pretty she was. This was a full-on lament about growing old and how women didn't find him attractive anymore and that all he wanted to do was take his daughter-in-law to bed.
Fucking hell. How awkward.
He goes on to say, I got a few photos of the bride and groom reacting in horror to this, and I went and hid with the catering staff in the kitchen. We were peeking out of the door to observe the carnage unfolding.
I would have stayed firmly in the room and just been like, let's see what the hell's going on.
Where's the videographer?
Yeah, film the faces, get the reactions.
Yeah, that is terrible.
That is awful. I think that's one of the reasons that you stopped yourself from coming to my wedding once, wasn't it? Because you were supposed to be best man. So you'd have done a speech, and you was like, I can't. Ian's wife is just, whoa, smoking. I'm gonna have to give him an excuse. I've got COVID. Sorry, can't come anymore.
Yep, do love the old gingers.
Which is odd, because she's middle-aged.
Love it. How about the groom ran full sprint around the wedding reception hall, double fisting bottles of beer. Now, I thought the use of double fisting sounded weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bizarre term to use.
I gather that they mean he was holding
Yeah, two bottles of beer at once.
in each hand.
Yes. No, well, not two in each. That'll be pretty hard to drink.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they are only thin necks, aren't they?
It's true. Yeah.
You get 4 of them and you gob at once.
Yeah. He could have had 4 in each hand. He could have been holding 8 for all his pals.
But I think, your only drawback is the amount of liquid you can actually get in your mouth at once. So you could hold 100 fucking bottles and drink from all at the same time, but you're only ever going to get one gobful.
It'll last you a while, though.
I don't know.
So you don't have to go to the bar as often.
That's true, Josh.
Life hack.
Yeah, really getting into the logistics of drinking here, which normally, I'm game for, but we've only just started your segment and we're an hour in, so...
It's true. I will continue. So he was holding these 2 bottles of beer in each hand, and he ran full sprint around the wedding reception hall, slipped on the ground, and dislocated both of his hips.
Ooh.
His father popped them back in while the groom screamed through tears, still while clutching the beers.
Of course. Fucking hell. That's awful. I think, that's a lesson if I've ever heard one. If you're running at full pelt, inebriated, don't have both of your hands filled, because if you fall, you're going to want someone to break it.
That's exactly it. And in fact, at our wedding, my wife's cousin ended up falling down the stairs and I think really bashed his nose, and it was bleeding for a while.
Yeah, I remember that. I walked in on the aftermath of that and everyone was just kind of surrounding him. And I think they were trying to get him an ambulance.
I think that's right, yeah.
And he was like, no.
And he wouldn't have it.
Yeah, stick your ambulance up your ass, I think were his words of choice. I'll double fist you, you bastard.
Yeah. Or how about, Ian, a perspective from the other side? And what I mean by that is as follows. I teach piano and very occasionally do playing gigs.
Is this your story?
No. I don't teach piano.
Sure, you probably could. Maybe even do.
No one would want me to teach them piano for sure.
Once they've seen me on guitar, mate.
They don't want that either.
Well, that's the one you're supposed to be able to play.
Shit, we both. I stupidly agreed to play for free at a wedding of a church acquaintance who was throwing everything together at the very last minute. I met her at the wedding venue a couple of days beforehand to scope things out. Where's the piano? He asks. In fact, I tell you what, should we role-play this?
Let's role-play this, bitch!
Let's do it.
Text me the script. I mean, I've already done my part of the reading, so I'm not going to say I'm going to put 100% into this. I've got it.
I'll be the pianist, and if you be the client whose wedding it is.
Okie dokie, got it.
Where's the piano?
There isn't one. Aren't you bringing yours?
Pianos really aren't portable. If you want a piano music, you need to find a venue with a piano.
You have a piano. You could bring it.
And he goes on to say that my piano is digital, but cabinet style, and still quite heavy. She'd seen it herself. I never transported it to gigs. I didn't even have a vehicle big enough to transport it. And she had never mentioned that I was supposed to supply my own piano in order to play for free at her wedding. He then says to her,
No, I can't bring mine. Maybe you just could use recorded music.
So in this, I've got a little bit of stage direction. I'm angry and panicking. Let me just prepare myself. Okay. You'll just have to find a way to get a piano here.
And then he just has an ellipses.
A triple dot of confusion.
In the end, her more reasonable father procured a portable digital piano and amplifier for me to play. It looked and sounded pretty awful, and the client never talked to me again. And I think I'm okay with that.
Why would you not talk to someone for helping you out, essentially? If it's your lack of organisational skills that has got you in this situation, it's nobody else's fault.
It's very true. I don't feel the onus is on this guy to be arranging all of that when he's already doing you a service for free.
Absolutely.
But yes, I'm a female professional wedding photographer. I'm setting up at a wedding and I have 2 large cameras on my body, not to mention handling some larger equipment and a tripod. 2 male guests happen to be near me having a conversation. Another guest walk over to these men and ask, and this is where I might need your help.
Hey!
You can be the guest, Ian.
Now, which one of you fine gentlemen is the photographer?
The 2 other guests look confused. I step forward, holding out one of my cameras to make it obvious.
Neither of them are.
And then I look at the other 2 men and go, my apologies, gentlemen. And then I look back at the woman and go, you must be the assistant. Be a good girl and go find him for me. What a
What a true knobhead. And she goes on to say, when it came time for me to take candid photos of the wedding later in the day, I made sure I only took pictures of that guest when he was mid-chew on his food. They came out gloriously awful.
Oh, passive-aggressive photography revenge. Beautiful.
It's true, isn't it? And penultimate one, Ian, again, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Just partaking in a little bit of back and forth with me.
Mate, I am loving stretching my acting muscles over here, mate, so by all means.
No, I appreciate your help. So they go on to say, I shoot and edit wedding videos. After a wedding I shot, I was in touch with the bride. And the wedding editor says,
Do you have any songs in mind for the final edit? I don't usually use the same songs that you use to walk down the aisle because the mood of the editing doesn't match the music.
No, I don't have any in mind. So I expected that to be a bit more angry of a sentence, but
fair enough.
It turned out to be fair.
I'll choose a song, but it can't be changed afterwards. Are you sure you don't have any suggestions?
No, none. Just choose a song.
So I edit to my heart's desire and then sent off the finished video.
Ooh. Hi, me again. Can you use this song that I walked down the aisle to?
What a fucking dick.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe just have, before you answer in the first place, have a little think about what you want to say.
I think she would much prefer that you took a day or two to respond than have her go through all the effort of doing it for you not to be happy with what she's done.
When she said, I haven't got anything in mind, I think she maybe meant to say, I haven't thought about it yet. So maybe some of the onus does fall on the photographer, and she could have said, okay, take a few days to think about it, get back to me.
Well, I mean, in the next sentence, though, she says, are you sure you don't have any suggestions? And then they go and say, no, none, just choose a song.
Mate, you should always go through life just assuming that the other person maybe hasn't had time to think something through yet. So if you say, are you sure? And they go, no, I go, okay, you know what? I'll bear that in mind, but I'll give you a week. You know, I'm not going to start editing for another fucking 4 months, so if anything comes up in the meantime, let me know.
But you never know, the beginning part of that conversation that we aren't privy to might be, it's been 4 months, where's the video?
Okay, maybe you're right.
Thank you. And final one, Ian. This is really bad, but okay. It's short but not so sweet.
Okay.
After the ceremony, everybody got up except for one very old and frail-looking lady who it transpired had passed away.
Oh?
The reception was rather subdued.
Oh, so she died at the event?
She died during the ceremony. Everybody stood up and she fucking didn't because she was dead.
God, talk about stealing your thunder.
Yeah.
It's like, have you heard about when people like announce their pregnancies at other people's wedding and like the couple are like, no, you know, it's supposed to be our day and you're announcing your pregnancy.
Yeah, or they get engaged or something.
Yeah. This woman just decided to one-up it. It's like, I'm going to go for the ultimate. I'm dead.
It's fucking bad.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, poor bugger. So, yes, there you have it, Ian. And with that, do memories of your special day come flooding back?
Oh, yeah, it's great. I think there was 8 people in a room. We went to bed at 8 p.m.
One of them died.
They all died.
A guest stole all your money and gifts.
Yeah, which of though there were none really. We had some delicious soup.
You were double fisting some beers.
My wife was pregnant at the time. It was mid-COVID. We only had some family members there who left fairly early. We got to about 8 p.m. It was me, my friend, and my wife sat at a table, and my friend was like, I'm just ready to go to bed, mate, because the bed's well comfortable. And my wife was like, yeah, I'm pretty ill. Let's go to bed. And I was like, I'm not going to fucking sit down here on my own on my wedding night.
Double fisting beers.
So, yeah, I went to bed as well.
Brilliant. Oh, good happy memories.
What about you? Lovely memories from your wedding?
Oh, yeah. I mean, these were all my stories.
Were they?
The most memorable was forgetting the ring.
Funny part is like, to cover up some other indiscretion that no one can remember, you killed that lady. You're like, oh no! So that she is the only thing that is remembered from the day. And then no one else can remember what you did.
That is true, yeah. It was just a swift jab to the back of the neck. It didn't take much.
Just a little chop. She was frail. Fucking hell.
All right, I think we better finish here.
Probably a good idea. Well, thank you very much for those horror stories, Jordan. To be honest, I'm kind of glad my wedding might have been a little bit smaller than it had been planned, because then, what could go wrong? It's just a group of family
It's true.
in a nice area having some drinks together. What could go wrong?
Perfect.
So, Jordan, with that, does that about bring us round to the end of today's episode?
I think it does.
Whoop-de-doo! Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Two Guys What's Up. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you listen to us so you don't miss another episode, and maybe even tell a friend. Maybe stand up in a room full of all of your friends, with two of them being newlyweds, and tell them the story of how you listen to this podcast, and then just hand out some flyers with our Patreon on it or something like that. Chuck badges at family members who aren't listening, and yeah, just spread the word of us.
And if you would like to get in touch with us, our Linktree link is in the bio of this episode, which you can click on and be jetted off to every single link you will ever need for all your Two Guys What's Up essentials. Want to get your own Two Guys What's Up t-shirt? Click the link.
Want to rub yourself against some sticky walls? Click the link.
Want to share your own wedding horror stories? Click the link.
And if you click that link, you will be blasted off to Patreon, the home of all of your Two Guys What's Up extra essentials. And if you really can't get enough of our fantastic tales and granny killing voices, well, now you can get more of each, because there are 16 bonus episodes which come out on the last Friday of every single month, just sitting up there waiting for your ears to gobble up that extra audio goodness. And all that is available right now, starting with the bonus episodes that go for just £3 a month.
Perfect, Iain.
Thank you. I just decided to roll with it.
So if you want to help support the show and get some cool stuff while you do so, head over to patreon.com/Two Guys What's Up to check out all the goodies over there. The link will be down below for your pleasure.
But if you can't do that, but you still like to help us out, then a 5-star rating and review in your podcast app of choice would be the best and freest way to do that, and we would be eternally grateful.
Eternally.
But on that note, thanks for listening. Y'all have an amazing week, and we will see you next Monday. Bye! Take a little wriggle of the old arms here, get a little bit settled in, just make sure I'm ready to read the wrong haul, the big bit of it.
Do a little knuckle crack.
Ow, ow, ow. There we go.
Ooh. I once taught a student, he was I think 17 at the time, and he could properly crack his neck.
Oh, God.
Loud.
Yeah.
And it always used to freak me out.
Did you tell him to stop it or he might die?
I just left when his limp body hit the floor.
And that's my cute exit.
I was like, well, time's up.
As you left, you were lamented on the fact, I'm pretty sure that was a D sharp. Go back. Should I tell him? No, I'll leave it.
That crack was a little bit flat.
Sort it out, mate, for next time, yeah.
It was just foaming.
Oh, he didn't pay. Just go back. Pick his pocket. There's a tenner. Thank you for that.
Oh, God.